Hey everybody, welcome back to Dude's Brunch, a podcast about pop culture, internet garbage, and black coffee. I'm Taylor Olmstead, and I'm joined this week by Tyler Reed. Tyler, do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
I do, actually, pretty frequently, as a matter of fact. But aside from that, what did I have for brunch? Well, I had a breakfast burrito and a maple oat scone from Coffee Emporium, and then I got a black iced coffee from 1215 because, frankly, I was tired of their coffee. I didn't feel like having Coffee Emporium coffee. Just didn't want to do it today. I wanted that sweet bean juice from a different place.
Sometimes you just gotta vary your sweet bean juice.
Mm-hmm.
Variety is the spice of sweet bean juice. Sean Evans is here. Sean, are you not sick or are you not well?
Oh, man. God, I hate you. Well, this morning I had instant coffee, which was actually really good. I get the Trader Joe's pre-pack that has like creamer and sugar and instant coffee in it, so you basically just dump it into some hot water, and it actually makes a super decent cup of coffee. And then I had to go to work because we were doing some training, so I had about 6 Krispy Kreme donuts spaced out 2 at a time.
That is some intense brunching, Sean. I'm proud of you.
I love
That's an
those
accomplishment.
Krispy Kremes, man.
Just the plain glazed Krispy Kremes?
Yeah, dude, that's just
They're the best
OG,
ones.
OG Krispy Kremes.
So, I have to ask, do you prefer them room temperature or warm?
Dude, I don't care. I have a preference for Krispy Kremes that aren't stale. As long as they're not stale, it doesn't really bother me. Fresh, warm, that's fine. I guess if I had to choose, room temperature is fine because I like to see the glaze, like kind of like frozen. It kind of there's something that's like really aesthetically pleasing about that for me. But honestly, I love them both.
See, I'm the other way around. I've recently taken to throwing them in the microwave for like 5 seconds just to get them nice and gooey. That's what I'm all about. But for me, this morning for brunch, I had some scrambled eggs and hash browns. Just going back to basics today. Nothing fancy. Just kind of felt like a traditional brunch. And of course, coffee. Gotta have that coffee, that sweet, sweet bean juice. So we are here this week to do one of our regular seasonal topics here at Dude's Brunch. Every once in a while, we like to take a break from pop culture and just enjoy the small things in life. You know, things like the passing of the seasons, a nice sunset, the difference between lime-flavored beer and beer with lime in it. And with that, I want to throw it over to Sean, who's going to lead us through tonight's meditation on summertime.
Well, tonight I wanted to play low-hanging fruit because it was we'd come up with a topic and I dropped the ball on it because I've been crazy busy. But I have been like desiring to grill something outside because we can't have grills in my apartment, because if we did I would probably have one. But I've really wanted to grill corn on the cob outside on a grill lately, which made me think about cookouts and these particular social gatherings that I love so much. So I want to talk about them. So, do you guys have any feelings about
Sean,
cookouts?
You're like playing music to my ears right now, man. I love cookouts so much. And our grill is out of gas right now, and I keep forgetting about it. And so every time I come home from the grocery store with like a thing of bratwurst or some hamburgers, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just going to grill these bad boys up and it's going to be delicious. And then I remember that the grill's out of gas. And then I remember that Home Depot's really far away. And then I decide that I'm just going to cook them on the George Foreman. And then they're disappointing and I'm sad. This has been like a 3-month struggle, by the way, since our last grill out. But we did have a really big grill out to like kick off the summer.
So I would say that I think at a certain point there's grill fatigue.
You shut your filthy mouth.
Now listen. Now let me. This is a complicated answer, and it's not easy. Okay, so when sometimes you have back like family events, like on successive like Sundays, like I sometimes end up having. I don't know why. Especially during the summer, we like to grill out. Okay, now these are burgers that are admittedly very well done. These are hot dogs that are very well done. Very, it's practically incinerated, and there's no.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, like describe what you mean by well done, because when I think of a well done burger, there's like two ways. There's like prime Angus that's like cooked to order, blah blah blah, and then there's like
and for example, my father
cigarette.
particularly likes his steaks to be cooked, having very little pink. So essentially sapping all the nutrients and the life out of them. And so there's no vegetables. We don't grill like corn. We don't have any shish kebabs. So I think that if you have literally the same exact thing, like grilled exact same thing every single time, I get worn out. Especially because the leftovers, if you're like microwaving them, well, microwave burgers are a sin, frankly. So
you are correct,
real
sir.
bad after. You could just throw them back on a stovetop, and it's fine. But microwave, if you're really lazy, after a while, they're just really bad. If they're already prepared poorly. But I mean, like, I think if you... Do I love grilling? Yes. I think it's a great way to cook meat and assorted things. But not the way that my family traditionally does it. And boy, do I not want it for like a month straight.
I mean... Sounds like there's some very complicated feelings about grilling here, which is why cookouts I feel like are such a good low hanging fruit topic. And getting back to the roots of Dude's Brunch. So tell me, you guys, what's your ideal cookout?
What's in terms of the food or the atmosphere?
Yeah,
or what?
both. What's a good atmosphere for your perfect cookout, and what's your perfect food for a cookout?
I think growing up in Cincinnati and going to the ubiquitous Catholic church festivals, for me, it's not a true summer party, grill out, cookout, whatever you want to call it, without grilled corn. I mean, that is summer to me, is grilled corn. So you gotta just put those bad boys just right on the grill. And then beyond that, I think you get your protein of choice. I was always a burgers and hot dog kind of person growing up, but I've recently gotten more interested in grilled salmon. I think that's a good choice. Of course, you gotta have the meat-free options for the vegetarian friends. So, some black bean burgers. I'm not against a black bean burger. Not too into, like, the regular veggie burgers, the soy and tofu type, but I could do some black bean. Why not?
I had some ballin', like, I say chicken patties, but like a chicken fillet. My friend Michael made some chicken fillets the other weekend. Not even weekend, it was Thursday. It wasn't even that long ago. We played Quiplash, actually, and we had grilled chicken sandwiches, and they were so fucking good. Which is something I haven't had a lot of. I haven't had a lot of grilled chicken, sort of like a fillet. So that's something that also can bring variety too.
I feel like the grilled chicken is kind of like the sleeper favorite of the grill out, right? Like, very few grill outs I've been to who've had the grilled chicken, but I'm kind of about it. Like, you can do a lot with that you can't do with a traditional burger. A lot of seasoning options there.
Well, okay, because red meat has flavor or something, or what are you talking about?
If I'm having red meat, I just want to do a very basic, like, salt, pepper, maybe some paprika, and really taste the meat. Whereas with chicken, like, chicken takes on the flavor of whatever you season it with, so you can really just go, like, off the wall when you're grilling chicken. Get some Szechuan sauce in there, 9 more seasons, some grilled Szechuan chicken, maybe some hot and spicy.
Sounds right.
We threw some bacon apparently on it.
Ooh, mixing your meats. That's some pro level grilling right there.
Ooh, yeah. Michael doesn't have Twitter, so I can't add him.
Shout him out.
No.
What about you, Sean? What's your ideal grill out food?
Honestly, zucchini.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah. I love it. It's just so easy to do. I mean, I think the best way to do it is to have like a grill pan, which is like an optional accessory. But like you can do it, just put a little bit of olive oil in that, cut it up into like equal little chunks, just throw it on there and just like burn it. I mean, that's something that I feel like when you char it, it still tastes really good. So, because I'm not a big charred fan person, like I like my steaks medium rare and burgers medium. So I like a little moo juice still in there. But like, I mean, I feel like that's something I can come back to over and over and not get tired of. So
That's interesting. For me, zucchini in the summer was always zucchini bread. So I've never really had grilled zucchini.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love burgers and hot dogs and stuff, and I'm not gonna. But I feel like I mix those up. But every time I like think of a grill, I want to put zucchini on it. It just sounds good. I like grilled onions too.
Oh man, love me some grilled onions.
I feel like there is like that because cooking out like almost necessitates that you're burning something. I like things that I think taste better when there's like a charred aspect to them, and I feel like the sugariness in onions is really brought out when you char them. And like zucchini, it's kind of the same way. Like they don't have a bitter taste; they have like a nice like sweet, fresh taste.
So before we move away from the grill and on to the side dishes, probably
Oh, jeez.
the unsung hero of the cookout, I want to briefly touch on a debate as old as time if you're from a German-American part of the world like we are. Brats or Mets?
And then here comes probably the follow-up question most people have is, which one's the white one?
See, people don't know what Mets are. I feel like that's a very Cincinnati thing. Like when you go somewhere and you say like, "Hey, I want a Met," they're like, "What?"
Can somebody describe what a Metwurst is better than me? Because I actually don't know the difference. I just know I like both of them.
All right, let's fire up the Googler.
I feel like a Met is like the white bratwurst. Like it's just another name.
Well, a Met is the regular sausage-looking one. The brat is the white one.
Oh, okay.
See, that's exactly what we were just saying. Like
disaster.
nobody even knows the difference.
But I do like bratwurst. That's a big thing for us in the fall. Like Sarah and I, we probably ate bratwurst for like 7 or 8 weeks in a row.
Oh, I do that in the fall too.
During the fall,
I eat a lot of bratwurst in the fall
because that's the season.
Is this a Cincinnati? Or is this like a... Melrose is commonly associated with the city of Cincinnati. Oh no!
Is this a Cincinnati regional food? Does it not exist anywhere else?
In the United States, Metwurst is commonly associated with the city of Cincinnati, where it is regarded as a signature dish.
Okay, what does Wikipedia say it actually is, though?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
What's the difference?
Oh, okay. Metwurst is a strongly flavored German sausage made from the raw minced pork, which is preserved by curing and smoking, often with garlic. The southern German style is soft and similar to T-wurst. Braunschweiger Metwurst is smoked somewhat, but still soft and spreadable while they're... Okay, this is getting a little to the woods here. The low
not if you're a sausage enthusiast. This is a big thing for you.
The Low German word met, meaning minced pork without bacon, is derived from the Old Saxon word meti, meaning food, and is related to the English word meat. Metwurst can be prepared and eaten in a variety of ways. God damn it, this doesn't help.
Okay, so what is a bratwurst? Look that up. What's the difference?
Okay.
Because bratwursts are white. I mean, now I just learned that. I didn't know that there was actual difference. I figured bratwursts were any kind of color.
My guess is it's probably a seasoning thing, right? Like they're seasoned differently?
Maybe it's a fat content thing. That's
made
what
from veal, beef, or most commonly pork. Finely chopped meat. So it's probably just a preparation method.
So a Met has more to do with garlic.
Sure.
Yeah, I bet that's exactly what it is. Mets have garlic and brats don't.
Okay. I mean, I like when I was eating bratwurst in the fall, people would look at it when I would bring it for lunch and they'd be like, "What is that?"
What is this white meat? That's not what.
Right. Like, what is this white hot dog that freaks me out? And I was like, "Oh, it's a bratwurst, which is really good," you know.
Oh no! The town of Bucyrus, Ohio.
Spell it, please.
Bucyrus, because I don't know anything about places or how to say words, so that's fun. Which calls itself the bratwurst capital of America.
Oh, here we go. Metwurst has a strong flavor. It is seasoned with pepper and coriander and can be served with onion and lentil soup. Bratwurst has a mild flavor, seasoned with subtle spices like nutmeg, marjoram, caraway, ginger, and sometimes garlic. So the Met is just stronger.
Right.
Spicier, if you will.
Meatier, flavorful.
Yeah.
All right.
So now that we've gone off on that tangent, I'm definitely more of a bratwurst person. I'll eat a Met if it's there, but again, I haven't been around a Met in like 6 years, so...
This is crazy. I can't believe they're both like a regional thing. That's crazy.
Well,
that
remember that most Germans settled in southwestern Ohio.
Right.
So, most German Americans, I should say. So, Sean and I answered. Tyler, are you brats or Mets?
I feel like Mets are always like really spicy. Is that what we decided? That Mets are spicier meat? Yeah. I think I ended up liking brats, but I think I still kind of prefer hot dogs if I'm having it like on like a bun, unless it's like you have like an appropriately good like sort of like mustard with it. Like if it's prepared the right way, I think it's really good. But once again, my family is relatively white bread, so they really don't like to do things too fancy, which is fine, but I'm like, that just give me a hot dog with ketchup and mustard, I guess.
That's all right. You can answer that way.
I did recently make some for myself, though. I think I had some Mets, and then I cooked up some onions and peppers for it, and I like sauteed them on the stove, and that was fine. It wasn't a grill, so I'm sorry. But I have an apartment, so I don't have a good grilling space.
So let's talk about them side dishes. What else you gotta have at the cookout?
Well, I'll stand by my opinion of I think peppers and onions I think is a great side or topping for...
I mean, I feel like we've ruled out peppers and onions and corn already. That all goes on the grill.
Great. Oh, so you want things that are not on the grill.
Yeah, non-grilled items.
Watermelon.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to disagree.
Yeah, you don't like it?
I don't like watermelon. Never have.
Wow. I mean, I think that it's really hit or miss.
Is it stuff that you have to cook on the grill, or is it just side dishes in general?
Just side dishes in general.
Oh man, well this just opens up the door to anything, I guess, doesn't it?
But we're still talking ideal cookout. Like it's what in your mind is like a cookout food.
Macaroni and cheese.
Sure. I like I think potato salad can be good if you
any salad that doesn't have anything green in it.
Yeah, for me, not so much macaroni and cheese because you have pasta salad. I don't know why we always did pasta salad instead. How about baked beans? Anybody else baked beans?
Personally, not a fan.
I
think baked beans are best consumed outdoors for a variety of reasons.
I mean, that's correct. Right. I think a good side dish is something that you can also put inside the whatever meat with a bun that you're having.
Well, I think you also need just like plain or wavy potato chips. Nothing fancy. No barbecue, no like sweet sour cream and onion. Just straight up potato chips.
Oh, Taylor, you gotta have them Grippos. You gotta always have...
I didn't grow up with Grippos, even though I was from Cincinnati. I'm not a Grippos person.
Okay, that's a good question. Before I ask my other question, what kind of chip family is your chip family?
Grippos.
Now, this gets very regional, remember, because there are like 5 regional chip brands in Ohio alone, plus the rest of the country and anywhere else anybody could be listening from.
God. All right, so what's your... I don't care. I asked you, what is your chip family? What family is your chip family? Okay, two-part question. What chip family do you fall into? Like, what chip house? And what chip does your house buy?
Like our current...
One of the rings plug right here. Yeah.
So growing up, we always had Conn's potato chips, which are based out of Zanesville, Ohio, which is actually where I was born.
See, that's why.
Yeah, I love Conn's. They're my absolute favorite in the world. But down here in Atlanta, we get a chip out of New Orleans that's called Zaps.
Oh, is that like the voodoo one?
Yeah, they made the voodoo
Zaps,
chips.
Yeah.
And I do like Zapp's voodoo chips, but it's a different kind of thing than my standard childhood cons. So
Tyler, we heard that your family is definitely
Yeah, Grippos.
Grippos. What's your brand?
I don't really like a lot of potato chips, honestly. Because they're very greasy and they make my hands and they make. So, like, I don't like Lay's, like, regular potato chips. So, if it's like. I'm not saying, like, a Dorito is like a chip I love to have, or even a potato chip, but, more along those lines where it's a little bit, a little less greasy. I don't know what kind of chips.
You just want those Harvest Cheddar Sun chips.
Ooh, now that's.
What about you, Sean?
We were a Lay's family.
Ooh.
Because my uncle works for Lay's, so you kind of gotta support the family business there.
The conglomerate.
Yeah, your big business potato chips.
Oh my God! Shut up.
Big potato taking over the world.
And then here we eat mainly just Trader Joe's potato chips because they're a food retailer, so there's not really a choice.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they're pretty good. I like them a lot. Are you putting on your hater shades for that?
No, not for Lay's. Don't get excited. I just felt like putting them on.
So my other question is that I think that I might be kind of strange in this way, and I want to ask you guys, do you think that ruffled chips taste different than, like, regular thin cup potato chips?
Not at all.
Or is that just me?
I think you're totally in the right. The ruffled chips do taste different. There's something about them.
Because I don't really like ruffled chips that much.
Well, okay, so we need to clarify here. Because you were a Lay's household. So, are you talking about Ruffles specifically, or all wavy cut chips?
All wavy cut chips.
I think that all wavy cut chips taste different, but sometimes I prefer a company's wavy chips to their regular chips. Except in the case of Ruffles, because Ruffles are garbage.
But I feel like with like Cons chips and stuff, that the wavy ones had a different taste.
Oh, they did, but I love the wavy Cons.
I don't know if it was like the oil that they're fried in or something, but I never really liked Ruffle flavored. Or like Ruffle flavored. See, that's how I think about it. I never really liked Ruffle chips.
I love the Ruffled Cons. They're my absolute favorite in the world.
So, I don't
Tyler,
know.
plain chips, wavy chips, opinions here?
I feel like if I remember correctly, I feel like wavy chips are typically less greasy, so I would probably prefer them over the non-wave.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna lie though, if I bring chips to a cookout, I want kettle cooked chips.
Ooh.
Like I want like almost like hard as rocks.
Those are
kettle cooked
like-
chips.
Also feel like very relatively greasy if you get the specific kinds, but I am willing to accept that because they taste so fucking good.
Oh, dude, I can fucking demolish a bag of salt and pepper kettle cooked chips.
And then you wake up and you're like, what have I done to myself?
That's exactly what happens. I sit in front of the TV for like 4 hours, eat an entire bag of salt and pepper kettle cooked chips, and then I'm like, well, I regret my entire life.
My family had a thing where they would dip kettle chips in Sweet Baby Ray's for a very long time, and so that was yeah. Sean, if I remember, obviously by him sounding very badly, did not like Sweet Baby Ray's during the graduation season of like our high school years, where everyone.
If you want to eat tomato sauce, just have spaghetti. All right, like.
All right. Sidebar tangent here. Barbecue sauce of choice.
I mean, I do like Sweet Baby Ray's. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Sean. Take me out to the street, shoot me. I'm inexperienced. I'm sorry.
I like a good Carolina vinegar barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I like a Carolina vinegar sauce.
I'm glad we agree on that, Sean.
I like that.
We should get some barbecue sometime.
I probably would like that if I'd had it before.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot Tyler's never been anywhere.
I've been to City Barbecue before, and I've been to a few other like barbecue-esque like chain places, so I probably have had it. I just don't
God, go
recall.
get yourself some real barbecue and then come back to this podcast.
Go to a place.
Sean, ask another question.
Okay, so since we talked about like these like generic things, but what's your favorite thing that somebody that like a relative or somebody that you know makes and brings to a barbecue? Like, what do you look forward to the most? Like, you know, if your family's having a barbecue, someone is going to bring this dish.
It was always my grandma's job until she passed, and then it's become my mom's thing. But my uncle and I both have summer birthdays, and neither of us are cake people, but we both love strawberry pie.
I forgot about this. You're a pie guy.
Yeah, and so my uncle's birthday is in June, and my birthday is in August. So it's kind of like at the beginning and end of the summer, there's always going to be strawberry pies. And I just forever like associate strawberry pies with summer because of that.
Nice. Tyler, you got one?
You know, I don't really think we have. We've gotten really canned, you know, within the last probably 10 years of our family's history, which we should really. I ideally, when I start to take a more dominant role in like, you know, hosting family events, I would like to, you know, change things back to a little bit more home cooked. You know, make more traditions. Which is something that I really pretty strongly believe in, that I feel like families do need traditions. They do need particular like food items that feel like they really make something, you know, because like we have cookbooks. Like it's not that no one in our family knows how to cook, but it's just kind of like I feel like everyone's just kind of like running the treadmill a little bit harder than they need to be, at least recently. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on, but I mean, what would I bring? So let's just answer that question, because I feel like I should just not answer the question. Oh goodness. I don't know. So strawberry pie, and so Sean, you go ahead and you go, and I'll see if I can find something kind of in a middle ground between.
Everybody in my family really loves deviled eggs, and my mom and my aunt on my dad's side really make deviled eggs that everybody really enjoys. I don't personally really like deviled eggs. I don't prefer them, and it's not a big eggs person.
Our family does deviled eggs too, which is interesting.
That's weird because my family doesn't do them at all. Never has.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't care.
It's just an extra shot of protein. You're like, I know we're about to have burgers in like 10 minutes, but how about like 5 eggs?
That's an interesting question. Are deviled eggs a side dish or an appetizer?
Oh my god.
Like when do you eat deviled eggs though? Because we never had them at our family cookouts. Like, do you pick them up when you go through the line?
No, yeah, you eat them with a meal, yeah.
Okay.
Listen, in my family, everyone loves deviled eggs so much that if you just put them out, people are just going to eat the deviled eggs. And they're not going to eat dinner. They're just going to want deviled eggs.
See, the only environments I've ever been around them in is like hors d'oeuvre situations. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that you could eat them with a meal. That's so strange to me.
Oh my god, you are such a weirdo.
We just never made them. Nobody in my family likes them.
I would feel like I would try to bring maybe just something like, I think vegetable related, because I would love to grill something up. I feel like I've been alluding to that this whole time. I'm like shish kebab, you know, like get some sort of like packed up like stack of like vegetables kind of all together of all the stuff I like, because nobody has enough vegetables. I can almost guarantee it. Too much extra work.
Not that grilling them preserves any of their nutritional qualities, but you know, whatever.
Well, you know, it's a thought that counts, okay?
No, it's because I actually have an informed opinion about this. I feel like a lot of the vegetables that you do grill don't have taste anyway.
That's true.
Like they don't stand alone on their own. I.e. any kind of pepper. Like green pepper, yellow pepper, red pepper. Tasteless filler. Until
you put a little heat to them and then they get something going on.
Right, that's what I mean. But Sarah and I have had many arguments about this. That I feel that peppers add no value to anything.
So what about the atmosphere, the cookout atmosphere? What's quintessential summer cookout for you guys?
Bocce ball.
September through October and May.
You don't fuck with July and August?
No, because it's too hot.
Did I just say something random? Did I not hear what Taylor said? I feel like I...
No, you... You answered the question in a much more predictable way than Sean did. That's why I just breezed right past it to Sean's weird embargo on the whole actual summer. He's like, oh, the most summery kind of party you can throw? Not in the summer.
It's at the end of summer. That's when people want to get together, man. Dude, it's been 100 degrees here for like the past 2 weeks. I have zero desire to go outside.
Yeah, that's true. I've been very against going outside when I don't have to here as well, because it's been in the low hundreds.
Right. Like, it's so hot here that I don't have cold water. Like, anytime I turn on the faucet, hot water comes out.
Oh my god. That's stupid.
It's horrifying.
Want to move to the south, Tyler?
No.
But no, I do, like, regardless of the time of year, I think for me, Cookout's gotta have some games. We never did bocce ball. We weren't really like...
Cornhole.
Yeah, you gotta have cornhole. That's where I was going.
No one plays bocce ball unless you're, like...
Old. I
know
get
somebody
it.
who's into it, but, like... My family owns a bocce ball set, but let's not lie. Like, when you go to a Cincinnati Cookout, you go and there's going to be a cornhole set, and whoever wins that is champion of the cookout. It doesn't even matter. Like, the best girl cook is always not the champion, because the champion is whoever wins cornhole.
I will never forget when Andy Milonakis was sent to Cincinnati by the Today Show to interview people about what cornhole was. This is probably the most dated story ever. And somewhere along the way, they concluded that the actual end of a game of cornhole is just when one person is too drunk to play anymore. And I feel like that is the truest form of the cookout. Like, I've never had a family cookout like that, but I feel like that's cooking out at its finest.
I get mad when I go to cookouts and there's games and people don't want to play them.
I know.
I don't want to sit around. I want to play a game. I want to, like, play your cornhole game or get out the badminton set and, like, get everybody playing.
What's even more infuriating is when people tell you to bring your board games to something that's not an outdoor thing. You know, someone wants to have an indoor party, and they're like, "Oh, bring some board games," and then we don't play fucking one of them. Just as bad.
We did play a lot of card games at cookouts growing up.
Acceptable, fine.
Yeah,
perfect.
that's great.
But this is probably gonna date all of us a little bit. Did you guys ever play Jarts at a cookout?
Hell yeah, I have an OG set of jarts.
Like a set that's still sharp?
Yes.
Nice.
That just has like 6-inch deck nails on it.
We didn't have one of those. We had a later, like 90s Nerf Jart set that was much more sissy.
That's not the same.
No, it's not. If you don't have the risk of impaling someone's foot, it's not the same.
That's the thing. You know what you're throwing with jarts.
For those who aren't familiar...
Like, don't stand in front of jarts.
For those who aren't familiar, there will be a link in the show notes. Jarts is a game that's sort of like halfway between cornhole and darts, where you basically just take a long nail and put the tail of a dart on the back of it, and you throw it underhand and try and land it in a target that sits flat on the ground. And lots of people get hurt, and that's basically the whole game.
If they don't get hurt, I've never known anybody to get... I have a set of jarts. I've never watched anybody get hurt playing that game of jarts.
All right, everybody, I got a new cookout game. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna need a golf ball, and you're gonna need like a couple pistols with lots of ammo. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the gun, you're gonna shoot the golf ball, and you're trying to get it to, I don't know, it doesn't fucking matter. You're shooting golf.
Do you not know how bullets work?
I feel like this is a Kevin conversation.
It is, but you know what? Let's just have big fucking rusty nails and just throw them at the ground.
See, this is like, okay, so I should say maybe now that I've been thinking about this, and yard games in particular, that this has made me feel very nostalgic for my childhood in the particular way that, like, my grandparents were very good at having, like, home games. Like, my grandpa was just always good at, like, we played wiffle ball for hours. Like, that was just one thing that we always did. We just played wiffle ball. And then they had, like, their own version of frisbee golf that was essentially like jarts, but it was like a rope circle. And then everybody started, it usually had, like, really complicated. So you would, like, start in the backyard, and you had to, like, throw over the obstacle or, like, around the house or, like, around the tree or something. And that's how we played frisbee golf. And, like, I just always loved that.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. The kids in my family is me and my cousin, who are both in our mid to late 20s, and none of us have procreated, so it's like everyone's very like,
Well, I guess we're just gonna sit here and talk.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this stage, that's what my family gatherings are like too. But we did a lot of that same kind of stuff, Sean. We played a lot of wiffle ball. We played a whole lot of tag, and at one point, my grandpa built a tree house for all of us, and so the cousins would all go up in the tree house and play around. And there was a rope swing.
I'd love to do that. That'd be really fun to like play like wiffle ball with like my parents and my grandparents.
No, my parents never played.
Oh, well, then there.
It was basically just my grandpa
And all the kids.
and right. And I mean, I have like maybe 10 or 15 cousins.
Oh my god. Okay, then yeah, you
So-
had enough for a baseball team.
That's what I mean. Like when we played, but really it wasn't like we actually fielded. It was basically just like everybody took turns batting, and then my grandpa pitched. And so if you weren't batting, you were in the field.
Just bringing the ball back to grandpa to throw it again.
Right. Yeah, basically. And like, so there was a lot of ghost runners. So it always scored really high, but everybody won because you were all on the same team. It was nice.
So it wouldn't be Dude's Brunch if we didn't talk about music. I absolutely loved, and I'll link to it in the show notes, this month's episode of Top 4, where they talked about their top 4 summer songs. If you haven't listened to it, you should definitely take 30 minutes and listen to it and get real nostalgic. What was the soundtrack to your summer cookouts, or like what is your ideal summer cookout soundtrack?
So it's like so follow me with this. So what if you took Werewolves of London and you like combine it with Sweet Home Alabama and you made this new song? And then you're like, hey, we need somebody to like kind of like rap, like sing over this. Don't you think that would be like a really good banger, guys?
Thanks, Fall Out Boy.
That's not what that is, but that's close.
Oh.
Do you really not know what I'm referring to, Taylor?
No.
You don't?
Was that a recent episode of Mabim Bam?
No. You don't? Oh my god, Taylor, I'm so sorry. This has gotta wait. This is...
Oh. Oh, Tyler, why are you doing this to us? Why am I opening this link?
Because you'll hate it immediately.
Oh, this is just bringing me back to the worst parts of my childhood. Okay, I listened to the first line of words. I can't do anymore.
Great.
Oh
you,
my God.
You know everything she need to know.
Oh, gross, gross, gross. Oh, Kid Rock,
So, audience,
why?
if you weren't aware, Kid Rock decided to make a video, or a song, a couple years ago. Actually, apparently 2008, where he combined Werewolves of London and Sweet Home Alabama into some horrific abomination where he, in the chorus, rhymed things with things. And that's a joke I found on the internet, so...
And that man is running for Congress. But no, getting back on topic, for my family, summer cookouts, and really the whole summer, was always soundtracked by, like, Motown and other AM radio hits of, like, the late 60s and early 70s. So, you know, some Elton John and mid-period Beatles stuff and The Who. Not like classic rock in the sense that we think of it now, of, you know, your Led Zeppelins and your Pink Floyds and your AC/DCs, but more the poppy side. I just remember, like, even to this day, really, one of the only kinds of music that my grandpa will listen to around the house is Motown. And so that's something that, like, I just always associate with spending summers with my family.
I can't wait till I'm 60 or I'm like 70 or 80 and the only thing I'll listen to is Vaporwave and my kids are like, Grandpa, stop listening to that fucking old trash.
Mine was always Reds games.
Really? Just like AM radio
Yep.
sports broadcast?
Yep. What's the radio station that plays them in Cincinnati?
700 WLW.
Yep, 700 WLW. When they weren't spouting right-wing stuff, they were spouting the news about the Reds.
Hey, half that's good, right?
I still think that they have some of the best radio commentators in baseball.
Oh my god, you're such a Marty Brenneman
I like Marty.
fanboy.
He's good. What about you, Tyler?
Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame!
I'm not going to step into that minefield.
I mean, to kind of continue with the follow-through of what you would expect out of, you know, the answers I've given so far, my family hasn't really ever listened to music in very many occasions. We usually don't have soundtracks, and so usually if we're inside, it's usually golf or some sport. So that's fun.
That's so weird to me because I know, like, your dad exposed you to a lot of classic rock at a young age, and I always remember him having, like, Led Zeppelin and AC/DC and The Who and all that stuff, like, around the house.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he had very specific times that he likes to enjoy those sorts of things, and I feel like it's usually not. I don't know what's going on with him in that, because yeah, you're right. It would make sense that he would listen to that, but for some reason, it just never quite made it outside. We never really had like necessarily the equipment, like I did personally, but like he for some reason he was technologically adverse despite building his own computer. We don't need to talk about that. So I mean, what I would listen to? I mean, it depends on the kind of the mood, but I would probably throw on some jazz. You know, I'd probably maybe also just throw on some 90s because I'm a nostalgic piece of shit. You know, I don't know, probably some alt rock. Some Strokes.
Always the Strokes, always and forever have my heart.
If it was me, I'm not having music outside because I really find listening to other people's music annoying to me. Like, I don't really care what you like. I want to listen to what I want to listen to. But when I visited my family in Texas, they all have outdoor TVs. I am a huge fan of the outdoor TV.
Really? It seems like it would be so distracting to me.
No, it works out on so many levels.
Please explain.
Well, because it's like you're outside and there's a TV.
I'm gonna need more than that. That's a very circular definition. Like, what do you watch on an outdoor TV? Do you just sit there and watch HGTV shows of like other people putting in outdoor TVs, or?
Yeah, you can watch whatever you want. Like, you can watch sports. You can just watch the news. You can I never really realized like how much fun it is to like. I've always felt like we had a deck in my backyard when I was growing up, and I have like a balcony here. And I feel like a lot of them are wasted space because I don't really want to spend time out there because I want to watch TV, which only happens to be inside. But if you have an outside TV, it's like a living room that's outside. Because I go to the living room to watch TV.
See, I had the opposite reaction. I like going outside because it forces me not to watch TV.
Okay, well, so just turn it off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. But my roommate and I will often just, like, sit out on the porch, and even if we're just, like, on our phones, or we'll be, like, reading books or something, like, it's just nice to not be on the couch in front of the TV every once in a while. That being said, it's summer in Georgia, so it's super hot, and when it's not super hot, there are mosquitoes everywhere. So right now, we're not spending any time on the porch at all.
So what would we say would be the benefit of not having music? I guess you just get to talk to people more. You get to hear the sounds of nature.
I don't think that music necessarily stops people from talking. That's what always has annoyed me about music in public spaces, is that I feel like music is made to entertain somebody, but no one really listens to it. I feel like it's just there for me. It doesn't really add any ambiance or anything.
See, I go totally the other
just-
way. I'm much more a fan of the like DJ sensibility of the music creates the feel of the room. And so even if it's in the background, like I want my goal when I'm playing music at an event or something, or like even at a cookout, is I want to play the right music for the right mood of the room.
Sean says
No.
fucking no.
Sean vetoes.
I like if I'm going to a house party, I want to hear music. But if I'm going to like hang out with my family, just turn on the TV. I feel like we never really talked about music that much, but if we turned on a TV and golf was on, we could all sit around and talk about golf. We could sit around and talk about baseball. We could sit around and it's like an easy way to break the ice. Because like I feel like on my dad's side of the family, everyone's yappers. Everyone just sits there and just talks it up. On my mom's side of the family, this is what a good conversation sounds like. Mm-hmm. So, the TV has always been there.
Always TV.
And the original
Great
NES.
equalizer.
You know, some good family-based Nintendo video gaming. Always solid. I look back very fondly on the Wii because I remember when my cousin got one, and rather than playing like card games or something for a lot of family gatherings for a couple of years, we would just play Wii Sports. And almost anybody can pick up like Wii Bowling. It's so easy. And so I do have a lot of affection for that as well.
I wish that the maybe there could be a tradition amongst friends, but I feel like the Switch has really been a good sort of console for sort of getting out and playing something kind of out in the open. You know, especially because it does have the Jackbox Party Pack, which has Quiplash in it, which I think is very fun for most people that have a smartphone, which is almost everyone. And so that can play like up to like 7 people, I think. And so that can be kind of a fun thing to do that's kind of a reasonable distraction from, you know, just talking about whatever. You know, that's not TV or it's not music.
So let's get a closing thought for the night. What is your cookout pro tip, right? So it's July, we're going into August, it's probably going to be a little too hot, but we're coming up on prime, like, end of summer Labor Day cookout season. What is your pro tip for the listener as they prepare for that time of year?
Always bring something that somebody else you know at the party will eat or like. I mean, also my pro tip is kind of selfish too, and I say that always bring something to the party that you really want to eat. Because if nothing else, at least you are going to eat. Like, if I ever go to a party, I bring something that I would want to eat. Because if I don't like anything else, I know that I'll eat that thing.
Also, bring an activity. Something that you at least like, and see if you can get other people to do. Like a fun game, because everyone could use a fun game every once in a while.
Oh my god.
95% of my life is considered around gaming as entertainment, so I apologize that my answer is expected, Sean.
I'm going to say a little bit of a curveball and something that I'm very bad at. If it's at your place, or even if you drive, like to someone else's place, make sure you have bug spray on hand. Everybody forgets about bug spray, and there's no bigger like letdown at a cookout than when it starts to get dark and everybody's getting eaten up by mosquitoes.
That means it's just time to go home.
Well, I mean, we start getting mosquitoes here at like 5 p.m., so...
Yeah, it's time for me to go home. I'm not an all-day cookout person. I stay for a couple hours, maybe a few, and then I either go inside or I leave.
I'm more of a dinner cookout person, so I don't like the midday, like lunch things, so I'm much more about like the whole, you know, get there maybe 4:30 or 5, stay until like 7 or 8.
What does a brunch cookout look like?
It's called going to brunch, Tyler. Next question.
What are you talking about? I'm all about the midday. I'm all about the dinner brunches, or the dinner cookouts.
You made it sound like you were a lunch cookout person.
Like I am.
You okay? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called a dinner cookout. I know that it's like not common knowledge if people would understand this, but there's a difference between dinner and supper. Supper is what you eat at 6 o'clock. Dinner is what you have at like 2.
Boy, we sure do get like
We get hung up on the definitions of meals on this podcast quite a bit. If you're new to this show, hi, welcome to Dudes Brunch. This is basically what it's like all the time.
it's barely about dudes, and it's most certainly not about brunch.
We've spent this whole episode talking about a meal that isn't even brunch.
And if you don't like it, please keep listening to our podcast. Oh my God, please
Oh my
don't
God.
leave us.
Please no.
Speaking of people actually listening to our podcast, it's a small detour. The bartender at work, Chris, was like, "Hey, so I was listening to the Dude Brunch, a while back, and you're talking about your summer songs." And he like fucking like grabs my hand for like a handshake. He's like, "I really appreciate you going to back for ska." Because if I recall correctly, I said I probably liked ska, and you all probably hated me for saying
I love
that
ska.
out loud.
I don't.
Well, I'm sure
That's
at
what
least
it
one
is.
of
Sean
you
doesn't
did.
like ska because Sean doesn't like horns.
Yeah, get your damn horns out of my rock and roll.
Can we make a shirt, Tyler, that just says Dudes Brunch, we go to bat for ska?
Sure.
No, because that's not accurate of what this podcast represents.
Oh goodness.
All right.
I wish I sure had an infinite like hyperbolic time chamber I could just go into that I could just make all these shirts that you asked me to make.
You bet. And now, as the sun sets and we've run out of beer and all of the Mets and brats are off the grill, it's time to close out this Dudes Brunch, Not Brunch cookout with a round of shameless plugs. Tyler Reed, where can the people catch up with you?
And don't forget the 5-hour conversations about your car maintenance are finally over. And your family will finally leave you alone and pretend that you actually know what you're doing with your car. You all get to leave. Hey everybody! You can find my design and illustration work at tylerDreed.com, and you can find me on the socials as TDR Design on Instagram and Twitter. Been really focusing on motion design. Make sure to look out for that. Tell me what you think. I have literally no idea what I'm doing, so please be gentle.
I think it is a solid start, Tyler.
Thanks, babe.
Sean Evans, if the people want to talk to you, where can they do that?
Just remember, the best way to get a good cookout going is to do opposition research first and find out who else is going to be there. But if you want to get on Twitter and tell me that I'm wrong about anything that I said on this podcast, like ruffled chips do taste the same or better, you can hit me up at sevans8910, that's sevans8910, on Instagram or Twitter.
And if you're a barbarian that thinks cake is better than pie, I can tell you why you're wrong when you tweet at me at TC Olmstead. And if you like what we do around here, you can tweet at us or follow us. We are at Dudes Brunch on all the socials. And if you really like us, you can review us on iTunes or subscribe to our podcast, r/Dudes Brunch. And we will see you next week with another episode of Dudes Brunch.